You are a being of abundant love, health, and wealth. You are a manifestation of the divine. In a world where we are stripped of our authenticity, I am here to walk you home by reminding you of your ultimate power. I am KaSandra, the creator and artist of Magic of Eden. Welcome to my podcast, Magic of Eden, the journey to your highest version. On my podcast, I'll be featuring and performing my poetry. I'll discuss traumatic and heartwarming experiences and how we can use magic to help us reclaim our divinity and evolve along our spiritual journeys. I'll also pull tarot and oracle cards during some discussions and leave you with words of encouragement as you reclaim the God and Goddess within you. I hope that through my passion and vulnerability that I am able to create a safe haven for you to thrive and transform. Grand Rising. Good afternoon and good evening. Thank you all so much for coming back to another episode of Magic of Eden, the journey to your highest version. My name is KaSandra. I am your host, and I am so happy to be in good love and great light and high vibes and a good spirit with you all today. Now, this podcast really is just going to be an encouraging message because I pulled some cards because I wanted to see what the divine wanted for me at the moment. And it really just kind of turned into an overall reading for the collective or for the people that vibe with me. And I got some really interesting downloads. So I pulled some cards from the Egyptian Tarot that I got from Amazon, of course, and I'll go ahead and link that down in the description for anyone who is interested. In fact, I'll actually link all the cards that I'm using tonight down in the description for anyone who is interested in purchasing them for themselves. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. I feel like I want to be a bit more gentle with this message because from the cards that I pulled, which I'm going to tell you right now, it just kind of seems like, there have been people who have been very harsh with themselves. And it looks like some people or a lot of people are resisting change and they're resisting transitioning into the next aspect of their lives. But this really feels more of a mental torment. It feels more mental. It's definitely a mental torment, like a whirlwind that people are finding themselves being swept in. And it's like I'm also getting a feeling or a sense of being lightheaded. So I really feel like I want to say that some people have really been making themselves sick with how many negative thoughts they give themselves or that they think on a daily basis because they are afraid of moving forward or transitioning into the next phase of their life. I feel as though some people or a lot of us are being kind of forced into the next step in our life and we are resisting very hard. And I really do believe that some people right now, the words that I'm picking up on, they're suffering from imposter syndrome. They have loads of anxiety. There are some things that have been left unresolved or not visited when they needed to be visited. There's so many different things that I'm picking up, and I'm going to go ahead and share some of those cards, or actually all the cards right now. So the cards that we have here, we have the Two of Swords in reverse. We have the Six of Swords in reverse. We have the Strength card. We have the High Priestess. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse. We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. We have the Nine of Swords. We have the Hermit. We have the Death card, and we also have the Four of Swords in reverse, and we have the Hierophant in reverse. Now, as you can tell, we have a lot of swords in reverse. Now, one of the things that I want to say about my readings is that I don't necessarily read the cards in reverse. I read them as they are, and I allow myself to just flow with it. So something else that I'm kind of picking up on is the fact that there are some people who genuinely feel as though they're just restless. Like, I'm getting a sense of restlessness. Like, there's some people who are literally I feel like some people are having bad dreams, nightmares and things of that nature. But what I feel like I'm being called to say is that, a lot of the things that we're experiencing or that you may be experiencing right now is the fear of not being supported where you're going or not trusting yourself enough to adapt to this new change, to this new way of being, to this new life that you are manifesting. I feel like there are so many people having such a hard time making a decision as it pertains to, should I stay? Should I go? Should I leave? Should I take this with me? Should I take that with me? And I really feel like there are just so many what ifs, what if this, what if that? But it's like we're not allowing ourselves the room to stretch and breathe and grow. Really, it's like we are expected to, come, with the power punch with everything. And I feel like the divine is saying, listen, what I need from you is for you to just show up and I'll handle everything else. But you're not even allowing me to, it's like you're trying not to allow me to intervene, but I'm going to intervene anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? And I feel like we are being called to revisit some of the things that we swept under the rug. And I feel like some things that we need to revisit are kind of like those breadcrumbs or puzzle pieces that we need to put together so that we can know exactly, what we need to do in the moment. You see what I'm saying? Because I feel like the universe always gives us that element of surprise, but this is not always a bad thing, if that makes sense. I feel like the reason why a lot of us are being told to revisit these memories and whatnot is because we need to make peace with what was before we can transition, because where we are going, these things are not needed. And I feel like a lot of people are having such a hard time with this transition because they're afraid that they're going to be experiencing the same loss, the same grief, you know what I mean? The same destruction. And I feel like that is the reason why we are going through what we're going through right now as a collective. Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like the message that, Spirit has for you right now is to let go and release it. It's good that we're going through these things right now. It's good that you're feeling these things. It's good that you're having these dreams, because what was left in your subconscious is now being revealed to you. And I need you to go ahead and do that shadow work, because again, you are not to be taking these things into your next experience. And I'm clearly hearing the divine say that, we have been internalizing this false sense of success that the world has been giving us, to the point where we are now having a hard time sitting with what we know to be true for ourselves. We are having so much of a hard time sitting with our own authentic truth, and that is a problem. I feel as though the divine is saying that, our soul is going to shine regardless. And when it is not fulfilling what it needs to fulfill because you are allowing yourself to be led by your ego, I feel like that is where we have the problem. We are not allowing ourselves to do what we know naturally falls into alignment or into divine order. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like we resist it because we're not used to feeling so much support. We're not used to feeling, we're not used to releasing that control. It's like we have such a false sense of security and we have such a false sense of control. It's an illusion that we need to allow ourselves to be freed from. Do you see what I'm saying? And not escape, because there's always that chance of being caught when you escape something. But when you free yourself from something, you declare yourself as sovereign. But what I'm hearing is that, and I'm really feeling this right now, like what I feel is like we are moving more into a world of mental sovereignty, emotional sovereignty, spiritual sovereignty, financial sovereignty. We're moving more in conjunction with, or we're moving more with the rhythm. We're moving more with the pulse now. And these pulses are forming the beat of our own lives that are unique to us. And I really do believe that with these cards here, especially with the High Priestess coming up, it's like, look, to the core of you, you know how to navigate between the light realm and the shadow realm. But right now you're stuck in the shadow aspect of yourself because you are not recognizing what is there being shown to you, so that you can allow yourself to then go into the light. See, the thing is that so-called, darkness is really light that cannot be detected, or it can't be understood. When you are in the void, understand that you are in a playing field. You are in a playground that that you have the power to, bring forth life, to create. It's like the blank canvas that you have the power and the potential to paint on. Whatever picture that you see for yourself, you're allowed to paint that, because that is unique to you. Do you see what I'm saying? But I feel like we're putting these false, pressures on ourselves. It's like we're drowning in this illusion of, I don't have this together, I don't have that together. I'm gonna suffer if I go here because of this, and I've already been through this. And it's like you're expecting to have these same experiences, and you're in the next phase of your life, because you're still not finished, with this experience. You're not done wrapping it up. And the divine is clearly saying that, look, this is going to happen with or without your ego's consent. So what I need to do is I need to dissolve that. And so when man, I'm telling you guys, like, I'm really feeling this right now. Like, we need to understand that our egos help us to maneuver around this reality, but we need to understand that as conscious beings, as limitless beings, we need to guide our egos. And some people, speaking of ego, have been feeling this sense of depersonalization and derealization. Now, in a nutshell, depersonalization is the process of where you no longer feel as a persona, you no longer feel as a person. You feel more robotic and things of that nature, right? You feel like you're just kind of like blah, like living in like a simulated world, so to speak. You know what I mean? And derealization is also just that. It's the process of feeling like you are no longer in reality. You're not, tied to, let's just say, this dimension. It feels like you're in a dream world. Well, the reason why is because, you're waking up. Right. And so having said that, along with the experiences that we're having right now, you are literally you're allowing yourself to step outside of this thought process so that you can then cultivate a new thought process that promises you a prosperous future. Even though we're not necessarily worried about the future, what we need to be worried about is living responsibly in the moment. And sometimes to live responsibly in the moment, we need to understand where we have been by going back, processing that. And then on top of that, I believe we have the Hermit card here. When the Hermit card shows up, this is analyzing without attachment. This is realizing and understanding and putting the pieces together, but in a sense that is analytical, so that we are tapped into a higher mind. See, the Hermit card is also, if I'm not mistaken, the card of Virgo. And the thing about Virgos is that they are very analytical and they can be very detached from, their feelings. They remain objective to get to where they need to go. And I think with the Hermit card, popping up, is that you need to disassociate yourself with not even just, your own, these emotions that have you anchored, to the sea floor of abyss of negative thoughts, but you also need to detach from what is, what's pulling you from the outside, like these things that are pulling you away from your core. You need to detach from that. Remember to be the observer. See, the thing about the Hermit card for me is that it reminds me to be the observer. Do you see what I'm saying? And remember that every experience that you have is meant for you to take back to source. You're here to observe, evolve, and enjoy. That's the whole point, right? And while you are observing, this experience, with the Hierophant here in reverse, this is you challenging the status quo. This is you challenging what was. This is you challenging tradition. This is you challenging how you were before. This is you challenging your old self, saying, look, this is who I was before, but why? Do you see what I'm saying? Why is this no longer needed for me right now? Why is this not needed where I'm going? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? What purpose did this serve for me? And why will this no longer be of service to me anymore? And see, the High Priestess, she knows that. She knows it because she knows who she is to the core of her. She knows how to pull wisdom from both aspects, from the shadow aspect and from the light aspect. And she knows she's like the bridge between these two worlds, and she knows how to bring them together to form the bigger picture. Now, the thing about the High Priestess, to me, she is the mother of wisdom. She is the mother of the moon. She is the mother of of the deepest aspects of us. And she knows what she knows. And there's a sense of humility with her. And I feel like the divine is saying, listen, if you need to ask a question, ask, and you shall receive the answer to that. But at the same time, by you asking me, you are indeed asking you, and you know the answer. And so I feel like with all of these swords in reverse like this, or with all of these swords and with all the cards popping out here, is, the divine challenging you, asking, why are you second guessing what you know to be true? Why are you so stuck or sucked into this illusion, surrounding you, to where you don't even trust yourself to get it right? But what does getting it right even mean? Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like the indecisiveness is coming from a place of fear that if we go this way, we'll fail. If we go that way, we'll fail. And we believe that failure is inevitable, or we believe that our demise is inevitable. When in actuality, where we're being led to is a higher octave of who we are. We are being led to a higher version than who we are right now in this moment. I feel like we have an idea, a passion that we want to partake in, or that we want to express, but we're too afraid to express that to the world. And what I'm hearing is that, some people are just afraid of rejection. It's rejection, but not only that, it's this lack of connection that people have with themselves, and they expect to have that same experience with other people in the world. And it's like, look, that's not the end all be all here. And I feel like this is a time where the divine is saying, listen, I need you to sit with yourself, and I need you to pull strength from the place that you're afraid to go to. It's the place that you're avoiding. Wherever this place is that you are avoiding, I feel like the divine is saying there is strength there, and I need you to pull from that fountain. The place that you are afraid to revisit has wisdom that you can take with you if you were to just allow yourself to revisit that place, so that when you gain this new experience, you know how to live in it wholeheartedly in the moment, of course responsibly, but also with fulfillment, with an open heart. I also feel like spirit, our guides, our ancestors, the divine, they're asking us, what is it that you're afraid to say? Why do you feel so reluctant to revisiting that place? Is it because of something that you've done that you're not proud of? What secrets do you have that you are not speaking about? It's time for you to shed some light on them and lay them to rest. You did that, or you made that decision, because of who you were in the moment. Now remember, I did a podcast, maybe like a couple of weeks ago, and in that podcast, I remember saying something along the lines of, who you once were is no longer needed. So what I feel like the divine is saying is, I really need you to understand that what you did in that moment, I need you to come to terms with that. No matter what it is, what I need you to do is I need you to come clean, because the only way that you are going to get to this place of that you call freedom is if you allow yourself to be honest and transparent and vulnerable. I'm hearing that it's okay for you to talk to someone that you trust. And if you feel as though you can't trust anyone, then maybe it is okay for you to speak to someone, to get professional help if you have to. Here on this podcast, I am not opposed to getting professional help. Just because we are on our own spiritual journeys does not mean that we do not need help from outside sources. I am here for that energy. And as I say that, I feel the need to go ahead and shuffle to pull a few more cards, just to see what else Spirit has for us right now in the moment. And what I just got was a King of Pentacles here. Now, the King of Pentacles, in my opinion, connects me to someone who is disciplined, who has been there, who has done that. But, and they give very good advice because they learn through their experiences, and they are more than happy to share this with someone who needs it. Even though this is an Earth card, I feel like in this sense, I feel as though we're being told to seek counsel from someone who has been there, done that. And this could be a more masculine figure. It doesn't have to be someone who was male or female. They just have a masculine presence. And even though they have a masculine presence, there seems to be a very kindness and gentleness about this person. So whoever this person is to you, it could be a friend, it could be a sister, brother, cousin, significant other, a teacher, whomever this person is to you, it is okay for you to seek counsel from them, because that person is someone that you can trust to help you with this situation. Now, understand that this person is going to hold you accountable for the things that you have done, but they will not use them against you, if that makes sense. Do you see what I'm saying? So whoever this person is, I believe that it is definitely okay for you to allow them in. Now, the question that I hear this person asking you, especially with the Devil card and the Judgment card here, is what is holding you back from speaking the truth? What is holding you back from expressing yourself? What is holding you back from, owning up to what it is that you've done? Like what is it? And I'm not trying to say that, someone did do something wrong, but at the same time, again, I don't know who's listening to this podcast. Maybe you did, and then again, right and wrong really is subjective. But again, like I said, I really do hear, the person that you're going to asking you that. But what I'm hearing is that when they ask you that, don't allow yourself to feel blown back by it, and don't feel like you're being betrayed, or don't feel as though you're being judged. I feel like instead what you should be feeling, or what you should know, is that they're only asking you that because they want you to be honest with yourself. I'm hearing that secrets are going to be revealed, to you, and that you are also going to be revealing secrets to other people. I feel like this is that energy of what's dark comes to light, or what's in the dark comes to light. What I feel is that what is left within the shadow realm is revealing itself so that it can be actualized, so that you can be actualized. I feel like this is your shadow saying, hey, I'm coming out to play, but I feel like this is your opportunity for you to keep your shadow in check, to express your shadow. What is it that you are not saying? What is it, again, that you are feeling that you are not expressing, that you're keeping in the shadow body? Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like this is the time for you to explore the shadow, see what it is that it wants, so that you can fulfill that, or so that you can implement that in a healthy way, so that when you then go into this new experience, you can move and operate from a place of wholeness, from a new place of power, from a place of you controlling the elements within you. You're not controlling the elements outside of you. You are controlling the elements within you, and then you project that control in your physical reality by knowing and understanding that you don't have control. You see what I'm saying? You are controlling by surrendering to the experience, if that makes sense. Now, I'm using the Oracle cards from Wisdom of the House of Night, and the cards that we got pulled here is the fledgling visions of vision and letting go. And what this kind of reminds me of is the fact that the visions that you have are leading you, even though they're leading you into the unknown. It's as though, the divine is holding your hand throughout this process. But what the divine needs you to do is the divine needs you to release and let go of what was, to release this anger. To release the anchor, whatever is keeping you anchored from growing and going into this next phase or transition, it's time for you to release that, because truly it's too heavy for you to be carrying anyway. And as I say that, I'm not even going to lie, my back is starting to hurt. So I feel like, and my chest feels as though it's kind of compressing, or it feels like a tightening. So I feel like it's too much pressure. And what I'm getting is like, a vision of someone being stoned. Like, I know that sounds really, really, really harsh. Like, that's such a harsh metaphor. But I feel like, you removing these rocks, as you removing these different layers and these different aspects, and you're letting them fall away from you so that you can breathe. Do you see what I'm saying? As you transition into this newness, understand and know that you are being carried. That the divine sees your visions, because it is through you that the divine sees its visions. And so it's okay for you to release and let go of whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? And as I say that, wow, be bold and make the first move from our Moonology Oracle deck. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's cardinal, and it says cardinal moon. And I feel like with that is that you have to be the one to initiate this process. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, even though the divine really is the one initiating the process and you are a part of that, but you have to be able to make the first step and take that first step. And know that when you take that first step, that even that step is guided, divinely. That first step is divinely guided. All of your steps are divinely guided. And there's no place on this planet or, in this universe that is off limits to you. Do you see what I'm saying? And I feel like even with that, when you visit these places and when you go to this new experience, you are then uncovering or entering into a new dimension of yourself so that you can transcend beyond, the dimension that you're at right now. Do you see what I'm saying? And I really hold true to that. I really hold that truth dear to me. And then it says here, the end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. I feel like with this is that we are allowing ourselves to actually rest. If you know Capricorn energy, Capricorns will work and work and work and work and work. Do you see what I'm saying? And I really do feel like with this card here, the end of a tough cycle approaches, I really do feel as though the divine is saying that it is time for you to allow yourself to receive everything that you've been working for, obviously. But in this sense, before you can do that, you have to be willing to do the work, first of all, to release this, process. And then once you do that, you'll be able to gain everything that you saw in your vision. I feel like a lot of you know what you want. A lot of you know where you want to go, but you're afraid to go. You're afraid for whatever reason. Do you see what I'm saying? And I really do feel like the divine is calling us, it's a call to action, to say, look, I've been there, I've done that, and it's time, and I've seen the life that you want to live. If you want to live this, if you want to be in this moment, if you want to be in this experience, I need you to let go. And this includes people, this includes places, this includes things. We said it in our last podcast. Do you see what I'm saying? And I feel like that message is being highlighted. Do you see what I'm saying? And the cards that we just got from Notes from the Universe is sometimes the good is hidden and don't be misled. And I really do feel like that reminds me of what we were saying earlier about allowing ourselves to speak, to stay and to keep the truth dear to us. But not even just that, allow ourselves to be led by this truth. And you may not see the amazement that lies in this situation right now, but eventually you will. But you just have to get there first, if that makes sense. And I really do feel like that's what the divine is telling us right now. Now I'm shuffling from the Divine Feminine Oracle, and the card that came out was the Saint of Spoken Words, and we also have the Green Tara, the Buddha of Enlightened Action. And for the Saint of Spoken Words, every word I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story. And from the Green Tara, we have my soul informs my every step. I do what my heart compels me to do. And I really do feel like the divine is saying that every word that you speak is sacred. Every word and every prayer is sacred. And what I want you to do is speak life over yourself, over your journey. Speak life over everything that you touch. I'm also hearing that it's time for you to cleanse your feet. Like, give your feet a cleansing. Like, make a tea or a brew for your feet and cleanse with rose water and burn smoke and burn frankincense smoke over your feet. Now, I know that sounds really, 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 really weird, but frankincense is actually a very pure resin. Do you see what I'm saying? And rose is a very divine flower, but not even just that. When I work with rose, it reminds me that we are beautiful in our own way, and that we are being reminded to be gentle with ourselves, but also be gentle in our steps, to be graceful. That is the reason why I feel like the divine is telling you to cleanse your feet with rose water and then burn smoke once your feet have been cleansed with water. Now, the water is also very purifying, but it also connects you to spirit. Right? And so that's the reason why I think the divine, or I feel like the divine is telling us to cleanse our feet. Do you see what I'm saying? Also, everywhere that you touch is holy. Your feet are holy, and they need to be treated as such. Do you see what I'm saying? And also what I see here is that we also got Perpetua, the Saint of Authenticity. I am my authentic self in all circumstances. Is that no matter where you go, when you show up, you are to be yourself in every circumstance. No matter what. Do you see what I'm saying? And we also got Pope Joan. The possibilities are limitless because the soul is limitless. You are an eternal being. You can never die. You can only transform. And once you realize that no matter what, you are going to transform, you will be better off with this experience. And having said that, we also have the Black Madonna, Our Lady of the Hermits. I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. And the thing is that the thing about trauma is that, the thing about transformation is that we are transforming our traumas into treasures to help heal the world. And I really do believe that it is through your suffering that you gain experience, but you also become enlightened because you are no longer bound by those experiences. You have gone through what you've gone through, but you grew through that, and that is all right, and that's where we're headed. Do you see what I'm saying? So everything that you're feeling right now, everything that you went through, all of these past experiences and whatnot are leading you to growth. They're leading you to transform, but at the same time, you're being called to be gentle with yourself during this time. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to be gentle with yourself because, see, when the butterfly is emerging from its cocoon, its wings are not being ripped. It knows exactly how to come out precisely to where it's not being ripped apart. It has become a tradition to claw at ourselves, to beat ourselves into submission. It has become such a prize to say that we are able to endure such a hard, toxic way of living. And I really do believe that the divine is saying, I need you to challenge that. I need you to challenge that way of thinking, because where you're going again, you are going to start to create your new traditions, that are not rooted in survival. Do you see what I'm saying? And I really do feel like we are stepping out of survival mode because it is time for us to start operating from a higher octave of ourselves. Now I'm shuffling from the Green Witch Oracle, and the first card that came out was Memory. And the book reads, deeper levels of connection with people, concepts, and plans are all areas that Rosemary works with. You are reminded to ensure you are in touch with your inner wisdom, paying heed to the past, and have cleared what needs to be released. Listen to your intuition as it is calling you at present, but be weary of gossip or becoming tactless or too forceful. So again, working with this memory card, we are revisiting the past, but that is so that we are in touch with, our inner wisdom, and we are taking wisdom from the places that we need to, and we are using them now in the present moment as we prepare to move on and transition. To be honest, I feel like with this card, it's reminding us to connect with the powers of the mind, and it reminds us that everything is mental. If you have mental stamina, then you're set. You're all good. And I'm still shuffling from the card. And as I say that, you guys, if you could see, oh my God, we have wisdom here. We have wisdom. Literally, the card of wisdom came out here, and we have the bay leaf. And the funny thing about that is, like, I literally opened the book, and I kid you not, guys. I wish I was doing a YouTube video for you guys to see this. But I opened the book, and it went right to the bay leaf. Like, clearly, like, seriously? Now, the book reads, external assistance should be sought, which can take the form of personal consultancy or research. Remember when we pulled the King of Pentacles? Come on, guys. This is in alignment. You do not have all the facts or the facilities just yet, but here, still in a good position. Bay indicates success through diligent application and also heralds new romantic relationships. Be wary of speaking your mind without care of others around you, as you are not going to be the most knowledgeable or experienced. So basically, this one is you, again, learning from your experiences and not forcing things and not just going on a whim just because you feel like it. This is you allowing yourself to fall at the knees of someone who has done that. Oh my God. In the most humble sense. I just think that is such a vibe. Like, that is such a vibe. And the thing about the bay leaf is that bay leaves also are good for prosperity spells, just in case anybody wants to know. But anyways, yeah, like, I think that is just such a vibe. Now, I was sitting here for a little bit because I felt this overwhelming sense of gentleness just kind of, come over me right now. And I feel like the divine is saying to some of you that whatever you did, or whatever decision you made, it wasn't your fault. There's something that happened, and I'm picking up something happening in the home space. And I'm being led to say that it is okay. Whatever it is that's being revealed to you, what I'm hearing is something about family history for some of y'all. Some of you guys have just uncovered a very uncomfortable truth that it's really hard for you to sit with. And first, trigger warning for some of you guys, it's something about abuse. It's something about mental abuse. Some of you guys have experienced loads of mental abuse, and I feel like it's time for you to break away from that. It is time for you to reclaim your divinity and reclaim your power by allowing yourself to become, or be the voice, or be the advocate for your freedom. And I believe that it is time for you to challenge your oppressor by breaking away from them. And I'm hearing the words break the chain. The mental battle is done. It is dead. It is lying dormant. And it's time for you to allow yourself to maneuver away from that. What I'm also hearing is call it as it is. Speak it as it is so. Because the truth that you know to be truth needs to be shown unto yourself and unto others. No matter how they respond to it, their response is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is allowing yourself to grow and move away from this because it's no longer a part of you. You said your truth. It is what it is. At this point, you are no longer confined to what they believe or their beliefs. And for those of you who are feeling as though they are a deer in headlights right now, understand that at that moment in time, right before disaster strikes, or right before your demise, understand that you are going to be carried away from this. You are going to be carried away from this. And I really do feel like that fear that oncoming train, that oncoming car that you believe is out to hurt you is a part of your own shadow. But at the same time, this thing that you are afraid of is a part of you. And in a sense, what I'm hearing is that some of you are afraid of yourself. Some of you are afraid of your own power. And people have preyed on that. And people are preying on that right now. Wow, some of you guys don't know the magnitude of your strength. Some of you guys don't know how far you've come because you haven't taken the time out to revisit or to see the progress that you've been making. And so it's no wonder why it's so hard for you to accept the fact that you're moving on to greater and better things. It's no wonder why you're so resistant to the change. You are afraid of your own power. You are afraid of what you just might receive. But I'm seeing so many beautiful things for a lot of us right now. I just wish that, we all had the heart to be open to it. Do you know what I mean? But if I have to leave you guys with anything, if I have to leave you guys with any type of words of encouragement, it's we have all been through something. Our suffering is not the end all be all, but we are able to conjure wisdom from these experiences if we allow ourselves to. It is through our suffering that we can then understand the joys of fulfillment, of pleasure, of play. It is through our experiences to where we then become in tune with our inner core and our primal strength. And it's in these moments of what we believe to be failure or what we believe to be disaster, divine intervention strikes at all times. We just have to be open to it, and that is all right. Trust yourself, trust your process, trust your journey, trust your ability to adapt, trust yourself to receive, trust yourself to get it done, trust yourself to relax, trust yourself to release. At the end of the day, you have to be able to trust, to be transparent, to be vulnerable, to be open. Sit with yourself in silence if you have to, for just a moment, and just breathe. What I'm getting a whiff of right now is mint. Mint is so refreshing. It is so refreshing. And right now I'm getting a vision of some lemon, cucumber, and mint water right now. It is so detoxifying and it is so refreshing. And there's some ice in it, and the water is just dripping down that cup, and it's so refreshing. And I really feel like this is the happy place that's waiting for you. It's that breath of fresh air, that cold, crisp air. And when you drink of that cup, oh my goodness. It just feels so good after a long battle, after a long fight, a long mental fight. It's time for you to let that go, whatever it is. Confront it, release it, let it go. Do not deprive yourself of an amazing life. Do not deprive yourself of treasure, of pleasure. Do not deprive yourself of that. Because if you experienced the so-called negative aspect of it, then evidently you can also experience the so-called positive aspect of it. You cannot experience one without experiencing the other, unless you don't give yourself a chance to. But how can you know either one if you don't experience both? Do you see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we are all here experiencing. We are all here dancing our notes. We are all here dancing to our own symphonies. But if we combine our collective experiences in a way that works for all of us, then we can form the most beautiful orchestra. Every step that you take is a rhythm of the universe. Every breath that you take is a pulse of the divine. Every breath that you take is life of the divine. Speak life over yourself. Speak life over your journey. Your tears are an indication that what you feel is real. They are confirmation that it is not hope that leads you, but it is the knowing, it is your intuition that leads you. Understand that this is not the end all be all, and give yourself a chance to grow in love. Forgive yourself for your mistakes. Forgive yourself for your shortcomings, and understand that your shortcomings make you human. The fact that we fall short sometimes is a reminder that this life that we're living is not meant to be perfect. It's not meant to be robotic. If that were the case, then that would be what it is, but it's not. This world that we live in is full of lush, organic life. That is what you are meant to experience. That is what you are, organic life. Understand that. I just hope that this message resonated. I am so happy to be here with you in this moment. I hope that you take whatever you need from this. I speak life over you if you are listening to this, if you are a part of my tribe. I love you guys so much. It is always an honor to hold space with you all. If you guys need me for whatever reason, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook and on social media at Magic of Eden. I will leave links to where you can find me down below. I'll leave my social media links along with the cards that I used tonight. Again, as I stated, I do hope that this hits home wherever it needs to. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next podcast. Thank you, Tribe, for tuning in to this podcast episode. I have enjoyed our time here. In case you need to reach me, you can visit my Instagram at Magic of Eden. There you can find short posts of inspiring messages, witchy tips, and much more. You can also visit my online apothecary to purchase herbs, ritual oils, candles, and book readings. I am excited to hear from you.